What's up, Night Owl? Steely here, back with another video. And today we've got some Van Richten spoilers for you in the form of tweets from Lisa Penrose. And I'll leave a link to her YouTube down in the description, as well as her Twitter. And these tweets, she tweeted out several pictures and answered a few questions from Twitter about Van Richtens, and we're going to go over some of those spoilers. So in the very first image that she posted, we've got the alternate art for Van Richtens, and we also have this spirit board, which looks kind of like a Ouija board. It's got the letters around this circle. It's got the numbers, yes or no. And you can't really, it's hard to tell what kind of blends in, but you've got that little arrow that you put your hand on and guide around to the letters and the numbers. And if you look at we'll look at the table of contents here in just a second. It has the spirit board and like rules for it or something. So yeah, I think this combined with the Tarot deck could have some interesting props for those of you that are still running or those of you that are running games in person. The next image we're going to look at is the table of contents, and I feel like this is going to set the expectations for this book. So chapter 1 is for the players. It's got character creation options. You've got the lineages, the Dampier, Hexblood, and Reborn are in the book. You got the subclasses, College of Spirits, and the Undead Warlock, background options, and the dark gifts. And we actually have a spoiler image for one of those gifts. It's called Shadow Quirk. This dark gift actually gives your shadow a mind of its own. You get things like Grasping Shadow, which lets you learn the Mage Hand cantrip, and it's actually your shadow like grabbing things for you as Mage Hand. You have Shadow Strike, which lets you add 10-foot reach to your attacks, a proficiency per day. And then you have Ominous Will, where your shadow will actually come to your aid when you roll a nat 1 on the d20. Chapter 2 is more for the Dungeon Master, and it's got creating your own domain of dread. It's got the creating of a Dark Lord, the domain, and then it's got the different genres of horror, including body horror, cosmetic horror, dark fantasy, folk horror, ghost story, and gothic horror. And there's also an entire page dedicated to other horror genres. Chapter 3 covers the domains of Ravenloft, and it looks like each of these domains gets about 5 pages, give or take, and there are a lot of domains in this section. Some of them new, some of them old, and they even have some domains in different campaign settings, like Eberron. We even have a section on the Travelers in the Mist, including Keepers of the Feather, which are Were-Ravens, and Vistani. And Chapter 3 wraps up with a list of NPCs known as Mist Wanderers. Chapter 4 is all about how to run a horror adventure. We've got prep for horror, running horror games after the horror. We've got information on the Tarot deck and spirit board. And then we have a horror toolkit like curses, fear and stress, haunted traps, and survivors. I'm assuming that these are new mechanics to use in a horror setting. And wrapping up chapter 4, we have the House of Lament, which is the adventure provided in Van Richten's. And I get the feeling that this House of Lament is going to be a similar adventure to, say, Death House or Book of the Raven, where the party has to explore a haunted mansion. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And finally, chapter 5, we have the Monsters of Ravenloft. This provides us some brand new monsters to use in our campaigns. And Lisa actually tweeted out a few pictures of some of the monsters, including a picture of the Boneless, the Bagman, and this massive creature made entirely of zombies. We've also got a picture of the brain in the jar of Baron Rudolph von Aubracher. Now, before we wrap things up, I want to bring attention to this tweet here where someone asked if there was any new magic items. Lisa said on a cursory flip through that there were no magic items. Maybe the adventure will have a few as a reward, but there's probably not any new ones, so manage those expectations. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, you know how YouTube works. Hit those buttons, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the upcoming changes, and make sure you go check out Lisa's stuff. Again, link is down there in the description. Go thank her for providing us all this information. And if you want to be a part of this D&D community, make sure you join the Discord. Link is down there in the description. Come by, ask questions, let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you at sundown.